What is going on, guys? Angel here, Begin Crypto. Thank you guys so much here for joining me in the studio. Bitcoin is rallying like crazy. It has been amazing to watch over the past 24 hours as Bitcoin is rallying. You see El Salvador already had the bill in their Congress. It's already passed, which is very, very good. Panama, Mexico, other places are looking to incorporate this, guys, as well. So we're super excited. We're live on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook, should be on Instagram, as well as on TikTok. We just got off TikTok with Crypto Mason. Crypto Mason's the man. His top 5 holdings are awesome. He had ZFin, Quant, HBAR, XRP, and what am I missing? What am I missing, squads? What am I missing? I forgot what his 5th one is. Like I said, I'll have to get back at him. But yeah, Crypto Mason's a good dude. Follow him on TikTok. Follow him on YouTube as well. Without further ado, guys. Oh, ETH. Thank you, Rico, because it was so obvious. ETH. Everybody just spamming me. ETH. Yeah, ETH, guys. Sorry, that one's too obvious. But his other 4, I like his other 4 holdings. They're very, very, very interesting. So let's get to the charts, guys. I think we're up at 37,000, which is pretty BA for Bitcoin here. I'm going to flip around my TikTok screen so you guys can see the chart. There we go. Let's get to the charts. I'm going to go ahead and split us up like this so you guys can see the charts. And this is on the 4-hour chart. I'm going to have to make this a little bit bigger, guys, because let's see if I can go. Oops, too big. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger as we can see this triangle again. I got all kinds of weird lines and stuff. There we go. How much you benching? I can bench about 325 for 1 rep. If anybody wants to know, I'll have to probably put that on video for you guys sometime just so you guys don't think I'm bluffing. But 325. All right. As you guys can see here, what a beautiful, beautiful set of 4-hour candles here. We got down here at that 31,000. And like I said, so far, you're right. It's going to be a dip right after the pump. We'll definitely see. But yesterday, what I was talking about, guys, was this move to the upside, back to the downside, and blasting through. And actually, I said it was going to blast through, and I said that this dip here was a bear trap, and it's looking indeed like it was a bear trap. People thinking we were going to move down at 31,000, back up here all the way to 37,000. Getting back into this wedge. I mean, like I said, not completely through it, but if we can go through this $38,000 wedge, we're going to really be on our way to hopefully treat that as this line of resistance here as some resistance. So, have you seen Vidi Partners? I haven't seen the Vidi Partners yet. I'm big on Theta, so I really like Theta, but that's just me. Retest 30K, resistance at 38. Yep. Resistance at 38K. That's exactly. Are we in a bull trap? Retest 30K, resistance at 38. I don't think we're in a bull trap. I don't believe so at this moment. Like I said, I think with all the news and everything that we've seen, I think that the bulls have finally came alive. I think there's more to for the bulls to buy. Like I said, I think the bulls lulled the bears to sleep down here at this 33. Hopefully trapped them at that 33 and busted up their thing, because I hate the bears. Like I said, I hate the bears. I'm a bear hater. But that is where we're at here on the charts, is 37.1. I don't see any weird divergences at this moment, at least on the 4-hour chart. Another good spot to look at where we saw yesterday, where I saw a bullish divergence yesterday, was on the 1-hour chart. So let's see if we can see anything here. Getting really close, because as we get to 38, we might see a divergence there. We might see, if we break up above 38, we might see something here in the RSI like that, and we might see, as you guys can see, downward. So we might see some divergence there, which actually is bearish. Would be bearish divergence. So I would assume that we're going to, So I would assume at the minimum, we would go back down here and test this 35.9 to 36,000, a flip back around, hopefully, as a little bit of a correction, but keep moving towards this 38,000 for the breakout. How's the buy volume at the moment? Let me change this to, let me go ahead and change this from, let me delete my pane, go into the volume. About 10 a.m., we saw some really strong volume. Remind those dang bears that bear season has two meanings. That's true. I like that. That does. That definitely, I like that. As you guys can see on the 1 hour charts here, volume at 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, we got a little bounce back fight from the bears, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Like I said, this is the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some positive volume the last 6 hours here. A big boom there at 10 o'clock as we saw that big, this big move from 34 all the way up to almost 37. Let's go ahead and take a look what's happening on the 4 hour chart, however. 4 hour chart still looking okay, looking bullish still, but at least a higher high of volume here, around that 10, 11, 12 o'clock. So when should we buy before the big boom? I think you're going to know a lot. I think you're going to know a lot as between this 38 and this 36,000. Like I said, if we see a dip back down here, 36 should hold, and if we can go ahead and move up, then we'll be just fine and break out of this wedge to the upside. Everyone that hasn't been dollar cost averaging this whole time has been missing out. BDB, you are completely correct, Miguel. Miguel, you're correct. Absolutely. Like I said, if you guys missed out on doing some dollar cost averaging here on your favorite, like I said, only have the dollar cost averages on your favorite projects. Like how you say time frames, people live in different time zones. I like how you say time frames. Yes, absolutely. I think this is a retrace. You think there's going to be a retrace, Guardian? Let's see where this leads us right here. Looks like we've touched this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. But I think this 38,100 is a really important level there. Oh yeah, this is the retrace. Yes, I see what you're saying now. This is the retrace. I think we're going to start moving back up. That's exactly what you mean. I got you now. What's a good buy-in for XRP? I can go ahead and take a look at XRP for you guys quick. One of Crypto Mason's favorite projects. Looks like we broke out of this wedge here. Looks like the bulls fought back as well. In a bearish scenario, you're looking at about 38-cent XRP. I'm not comfortable with buying a ton of XRP yet in the short term. If you're dollar cost averaging and you're long term about XRP, then yes. But like I said, there really isn't much to go on here because we haven't developed. We got a low and we got a we've got a higher low. We just got to keep moving up up to this upside here. You're going to see some resistance here. I could extend that now outside of that, right up at this 96 cents to a dollar. What's a good time to buy in for XRP? Yes, I'm long term. Begin Crypto, what are my favorite projects? Like I said, right now, I'm only buying, I'll move over a little more. There you go. Right now, guys, I'm only buying, like I said, I'm dollar cost averaging. The only projects I'm buying dollar cost averaging is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Chainlink. Those are the only four. So I still think we're bull. Bitcoin still retest the 30K. Bitcoin needs to retake the 42K level. That's an absolutely correct statement as well, Miguel. This 42 line, the 42 line of Bitcoin is super important. That is the line. Just like I said if you guys don't follow on Twitter, like I said, go ahead and follow us on Twitter. You guys can see my little follow on Twitter at Begin Crypto 2 here on the live stream. You guys will be able to check that out. But this Bitcoin right here, this line right here, I already have. This 42 level right here is super important. Where's my 42,000? That is a very important level. Let me go ahead and connect. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, we're just breaking back up through here. This 38 is the next level, but this 42 area right here would be breaking out in absolutely on the big scale. If you guys were to see this on a bigger scale here, this level right here at 42 is an important level, and that will show us, this will be a local bottom here if we can break above 42. And as you guys can see, this here would be a bottom, and we'd be able to move back up to the upside on the bull market. So waiting for Elon's next tweet. Is a bear trap? It was a bear trap because we pumped back up through that wedge. That is true. That is very true, which is great. So the top trend line doesn't touch the second. The top trend line doesn't touch the second high. Yes, sorry about that. That's what we're looking at there. So when is the best time to buy? Do you think ETH will hit 3K this week? It all depends. Like I said, it all depends. Draw a falling wedge from the high. I definitely could I'd probably have to go to the 1. Let's see. Yeah, well, I want to show you guys this on the day chart too, guys. As you guys can see, without the Heikin-Ashi, that 30K line is super important for this bull run. As you guys can see, you guys can see by the drawing, you guys know my thoughts here, coming here by August of 2022. But I think that's what we're saying. Head and shoulders, kind of. Yeah, that's what some people have been speculating that here. So they'd say a shoulder, a big head, and a shoulder, which means would be a bearish, which we'd almost be matching this trajectory down here, which that support would be at about 9,400. I just don't see that playing out. But a ton of consolidation down here at 30 in the 30s for both. Because this whole consolidation period is a whole month, and this is going to turn out to be a whole month as well. But I think we're going to keep moving to the upside here eventually. So I'll hold on a second. Let me see if I can comment back. There. You think the bull run will be extended until August of 2022? No. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying this was just a drawing from me saying this was just a drawing showing where I think we're headed in the future. That just happened to be I just happened to end my drawing in August. But you called 30 when Pablo said 20. You win. I appreciate that. Like I said, even I put that out yesterday or the other day, and Pablo actually he hopped on Instagram and said, "I think we're still going to 20." And I said, "I think we're still holding 30." So we'll see how it goes. So, FYI, inflation report comes out tomorrow. Yeah, that could be an interesting play. So yeah, we'll definitely see about that. But I was talking about it yesterday, guys. What's your take on ETH? I like ETH a lot. Can you examine Ethereum chart? Sure. A lot of people are wondering about Ethereum, guys. I'll go ahead and go to the Ethereum chart. Ethereum, ETH, USD. I don't think I've drawn much on the Coinbase chart. So let's go to the. I'm examining right now the 4-hour chart. Dang it. Trying to keep touching the wrong line. It's kind of hard to draw on this, but close enough. There. There you go. We started a new project, Taurus. Good for you. So here we go. Here's the ETH chart right here. It's currently sitting at 2,600 even. I think, like I said, once we find the result of whether this chart is bullish or bearish, out of this wedge, you're really looking at on the downside, could be down to that 1125, right around that 1125 area. Back up to the upside, a breakout would be about 4,100, back up to 4,100. Still don't trust this bump, but I want to believe absolutely. Like I said, I'm still bullish. Like I said, I'm still very bullish, but in the same breath, guys, you have to be wary of a fight back from the bears. Like I said, I still don't think we're going to break 30K. Could we retest it? We could retest it. But like I said, I'm feeling good about Bitcoin right now. I'm feeling good about the bulls right at this moment. Could the bears be trying to trap us? Maybe. But like I said, I think there's going to be enough bullish momentum here coming soon, and there's enough bullish news here for us to keep moving to the upside. Who is Bryan? Can somebody tell me who Brian Ross. Who is Brian live with right now? Can somebody go to Brian Ross? Can somebody go to his live and check out who he's with? By the way, check the volume. I feel it's a bear trap. On the 4-hour chart, are you talking about Ethereum? Well, we probably want to talk about Bitcoin. I just checked the volume. Like I said, we had a nice increase. We had a nice increase in volume. It's kind of hard to see down there. I'm going to move it over a little bit more. Like I said, not nearly as much, obviously not nearly as much volume as on the big, huge break, but you should invite Bryan into this live. I would, but it says he's currently co-hosting with somebody. Now he's by himself. Okay. I definitely could invite him here quick. Give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and invite Bryan here on. This is Brian Ross, guys. I'm going to go ahead and invite him and see if he is. He canceled it. He declined it on me. Maybe he's co-hosting with Nakamoto. He's always been on here. With Pablo. Yeah, Bryan is. He actually declined me. He hit me on decline. I don't know if he's trying to. Fit it. Maybe he's just trying to finish a point. But yeah, like I said, I'll get him on the live if. I don't want to hold us up here too. Like I said, he declined, unfortunately. But I don't want to bother him either. Like I said, he's been going live with a lot of people too. Oh, okay. My brother, Bryan, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing very, very well. How you feel?
What do you think about this little rally? Are we gonna hit some new support, or is this just fake? Is this a fake?
Well, I'd like to still see a little more volume, but it's looking pretty good right now. The news is looking pretty good around. Actually, I've been DMing Pablo a little bit too, and we've been kind of razzing each other. I'm like, I still think 30 is going to hold. He said it might hold for now. He still thinks it's going to break down to the downside, but right now it's looking pretty solid. I believe that inflation report comes out tomorrow. That's going to be interesting. Some interesting news for Bitcoin. The El Salvador, how fast their Senate, their Congress got everything through was amazing. I wish the United States could work like that. Holy buckets.
Yeah. I mean, the El Salvador adopting Bitcoin is really interesting. It's still, they're kind of desperate for it. You know, they really need it. It'll be interesting. But I mean, I'm not, it's fine with me. I'm glad it's happening, but I'm not convinced that that's as big of news as, for example, like Texas, the Texas governor developing a framework for crypto in his state. That's going to be really, really huge.
No, yes, I completely agree. I think I saw Mexico and Panama. I think a lot of the Latin American countries, I think they really do need Bitcoin, and hopefully they continue to adopt it as well. But yes, like I said, Mexico would be solid. But pretty excited overall. It's finally, I mean, for what it's worth, it's good to see the Bulls battle back here a little bit because they've been dead the past 3 weeks. So good to see a little fight back. Good to see some positive news around the crypto space. So. But overall, like I said, I think for a lot of our goals, we just want to see mass adoption in crypto. And like I said, the first domino falling for El Salvador and a few other countries now debating it as well. I think that's a positive light for the cryptocurrency space. And maybe, some big news, as much as it's not helping, maybe some of the biggest news in history though, for the cryptocurrency space.
Yeah. I mean, it is, with Bitcoin acting as a decentralized store of value, it is important that all of these other nations are considering it and taking it on. It's just going to be harder to eradicate it from society if it's becoming an integral part of the world. We're integrating it into some mainstream functions here. So I definitely think that's obviously bullish news. I mean, since I think that regulations are like the number one threat to crypto right now.
Yep.
It's going to be, it's nice for the regulators to have a little bit of like hesitation before they do really crazy things to it, before they totally try to shut it down. They're going to have to say, hey, wait a minute. I mean, what's this going to do to third world economies and things like that? Or now we're going to have a political issue of, if we try to shut down Bitcoin or ban it in our country, maybe there's a fallout in El Salvador and there's like kids on the street starving because of this. So it's like any little bit of political pressure,
Absolutely. Bryan, are you buying anything right now? Is there anything that you're buying? Or are you just holding right now and waiting to see what's happening? What's your strategy right now?
Yeah, I bought a little bit of Bitcoin at 32.5 and sold it at 37, just as kind of a little bit of a day trade. I'm kind of, already, I own a lot of crypto already. And I need to see, before I personally am buying, I need to see like low to mid 40s for like a week and some sort of a breakout of there, because I mean, how it is right now. We're trading sideways in the silly 30s. But I mean, with that said, don't you think that, I mean, there's no way we're going to be going down into the low 20s and staying there. There's way too many people waiting to get back in. So I do think that, the 30s is pretty safe right now.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, for me personally, I'm just dollar cost averaging into the 4 projects that I really believe in: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and Chainlink. I like Chainlink. I think Chainlink does very well in bear markets. But like I said, that's really all I'm buying. I'm just dollar cost averaging, just like I always would into those. Otherwise, I'm kind of holding off, watching this trend sideways a little bit. I agree. Let's go right. This 42. That 42 level up there is that is a huge resistance. And like I said, and you said it too, that 42K means a lot. If we can go ahead, break through and turn that into support, I think we're going to be well on our way to the bull run. But until then, we're probably going to watch Bitcoin bounce between this support down here at that 29.9. I'll pull that down a little bit, that 29.9 level and this 42 level. So in a big macro, I think a big macro picture. I think this 30 is going to hold. This 29.9 is going to hold, but I still don't think we can confirm anything until we go above 42 or below 30. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at there on the charts.
Yeah, that's a great analysis, man. Thanks for showing us your chart there. I don't have mine pulled up that well, so I appreciate that. Someone in the chat was saying who's selling right now. And I mean, Pablo and I were talking about this, and everybody's pretty much talking about this. But there's a lot of people who are happy to get out with a small profit or break even, and that's where that resistance at 42K is going to come in. I actually have a friend who has a lot more money than I do in Bitcoin. He bought at 42K, and he told me, he's like, man, if we hit 42, 45K again, especially like 45 to 47, he's like, I'm going to take my 10% profit, which will be better than I make in the stock market in a year, right, and I'm gonna bail, And so you have to wonder like how many people have that mentality where they're just sort of happy to get out, break even. I mean, yeah, what's it going to take to push Bitcoin back to 60, 70, 80K? Like that's, I mean, institutions, right? That's the only thing that
that's
can do that.
Only thing. Yep. And those institutions and those whales are what give us confidence. They validate us, just like we validated them. We getting to that 62, 64K as the shrimp, we validated for them that Bitcoin really is going to be something. And they went ahead, they rolled the price back all the way back to where they want to accumulate at, that Elon Musk zone, that low 30s area. And like I said, I think they accumulated there. But the retail, like I said, the volume the last few days has been as low as it's ever been, especially being where we're trading at as a market cap at, 1 point, I don't know where we're at right now, somewhere in the 1.75 or 7, somewhere in there. But with that, I think the whales are going to have to be, and the institutions are going to have to be the ones that bring us back up to past that 42 and beyond. I think we're going to have to see it on somebody else's balance sheet. I think we're going to have to see Elon flip, turn back into a bull. I think we're going to have to see, even I think in the late summer, I think Walmart's their quarterly report will come out, as Facebook's will come in July. So if we start to see some institutional buys on their balance sheets, I think that could be the thing that catapults us back. But until then, I don't think retail alone can save us back and put us back to 42 unless we see the confidence from them. Just like we validated them, we need validation from them that they actually believe in this. Because if they don't believe in it, it's hard for us retailers to believe in it. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I come from, I spent about 10 years working in institutional finance, and I can tell you that the number one thing that these institutions care about is their public image, you know? And that's why the Elon environmental stuff is so damaging, because it doesn't even matter if it's really bad for the, I'm going to repeat this till I'm blue in the face because it's the main thing going on right now, It doesn't matter if it's really bad for the environment or not. Nobody really cares. Only thing that matters is that now that Elon said it's bad for the environment, all of the institutions that might have been ready to jump in, you have the massive, Fortune 500 companies. They're like, whoa, we don't need this. Like, we're just fine without these headaches, So if someone wants to put out, what I think the best thing for crypto would be right now, if some researchers put out a report showing like how it wasn't actually as bad as the environment as we thought it would, because that's like what killed the bull market, in my opinion,
Yes. No, yeah, I completely agree with you there as well. What are you, in terms of fiat and crypto right now, what's your thoughts on fiat in crypto? So holding the dollar versus holding crypto. Are you 50-50, would you say, like in your investments in crypto and holding cash on the sidelines? Are you heavy right now in cash and letting crypto do its thing? Or are you talking
about the part of my portfolio that is for crypto eventually, like that, like my crypto portfolio?
I think that, as well as your actual, just like, just your financials in general. Like, are you comfortable with holding a bunch of cash right now, or what? What's your feeling? Are you trying to accumulate more crypto, or like I said, this has been kind of a big discussion and thought, especially in my Discord and stuff too, about cash versus crypto. There are some people that are actually thinking that cash might be okay to be holding right now, and some people are thinking you should use that cash since you have a lot to go get crypto for cheap and just kind of wait it out. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. I'd like to hear your answer to that too. I mean, for me, I'm an old school, financial independence guy. I've got real estate. I've got hard money loans. I've got dividend paying stocks. So crypto right now is only about like 10% of my net worth or my investments, but a lot of that wasn't really by choice. It was because I bought real estate 15 years ago and it's worth a lot more now. So it wasn't like I ever intended for that to happen. But I'd say of my portion of my portfolio, the slice of the pie that's intended for crypto, it's about 50% cash and 50% in the market now, because I sold most of my crypto pretty close to the top. And I don't claim to be, it was pure luck. I mean, I looked at, you remember, I looked at the trend and I was like, this is the bull market where we're going from 62 to 50 to 62. And I was like, I'm out. I was like, you know what? I don't see this as, so, I probably should be a little bit more aggressive now that we're back in, the low 30s, and I'm thinking about, but it's also the thing that like you hear BitBoy Crypto say, and other people say this, like, do you really want to buy Bitcoin now when like the most you can do is like a 2, 3, 4x? Like, what other projects should we be talking about that have a lot more potential? That's why I really like the launches that are happening now, like Lossless and the other stuff that DAOmaker's doing, because I want projects that are like going to detach from Bitcoin, decouple the flippening, whatever you want to call it, and people are going to start to be like, you know what? Even if Bitcoin goes to zero, this other thing is going to change the world. What's your answer to that? Are you all in right now? Are you all crypto? Are you some cash?
Well, it's kind of interesting. So I'm having kind of a macro economic epiphany. And for example, I'm very close right now to selling my home. because I bought it maybe 4 years ago, and we're up about 90,000 on it or so. And I don't know. I just feel like real estate has to be in a bubble here. We have 40 yards of people lining up to get into to see homes. At some point, something's got to give here. So, my thought here is that cash might be super important, especially on the sidelines, especially if the stock market goes down, if real estate goes down, and normally cryptocurrency and Bitcoin goes down, just like in March of 2020, it moving from whatever it was 9 to 3. So holding, having cash at that time would have been, obviously in real life, like selling the high, and that's kind of how I feel about it right now. I think holding on to that cash and maybe waiting for real estate to drop, as well as the stock market, as well as crypto. At least in my other, with thinking about other investments outside of the money that I have in crypto, cash might not, like a lot of people are hating on cash, but the only thing that goes up during a crash is the value of the dollar. The value of the dollar actually increases because it's just, it's simple economics. Obviously, everything else is losing its value, so the dollar is gaining its value because you can get more with that dollar. So that's something I'm thinking about right now is, quote unquote, in life, selling the top and kind of waiting for this crash that's inevitable. I think we haven't had a recession in, it's been 11 years. And, I was pretty young. I was in late high school, when that happened. So, I was in high school. So like, I really and I know you've got a different perspective because you've probably, you lived through it more than I did. I was just becoming an adult then, but, that affected a lot of people's lives. And but I think having cash then, being able to buy into real estate and the stocks and all of that, even if people who bought stocks and crypto in March, you made a killing because if you had a bunch of cash and moved it in. That's what I'm thinking. I feel like in life right now, I could sell the top and everything else, but at least crypto right now. Stocks for sure, real estate for sure. So I'm kind of interested in cash right now. I'm actually interested in the US dollar. And a lot of people don't have this perspective, but I just for some reason had an epiphany. Like if I'm holding cash, and as long as the United States dollar doesn't collapse, as long as it doesn't go Venezuela on us and it recovers, we should be good. As long as the United States dollar doesn't fail. What are your thoughts on that? I know, like I said, you've got other investments too in real estate.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, if you want to succeed, you want to be thinking 6 months ahead of what everyone else is thinking right now. And I completely agree with you. In fact, let me tell you a little story about what I just did in that regard. I just refinanced my duplex, one of my duplexes that I own in Lake Tahoe that, went up like crazy.
Yeah.
And I pulled $160,000 out of it.
Yep.
And it's sitting there, and I'm even paying interest on it. I'm paying 4% interest on this $160,000. And people are like, that's so dumb, the dollar. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking exactly what you're thinking. When you make your money in investments is the buy, not the sell, right? It's when Correct. You buy low. And that's what I did in 2012. I picked that duplex up when nobody else wanted real estate. And that's what's going to happen when real estate. I don't think there's going to be a real estate crash, by the way, because the banks learned their lesson of the 2008 housing crisis. Mm-hmm. But what is going to happen is that the liquidity is going to dry up in the commercial, especially, but also residential lending markets. And banks are going to tighten up the reins on their lending. And they're going to say, you know what? We don't want to give you these easy loans anymore because we're worried about, ability to repay. And that's when the deals are going to happen. It's going. I totally agree with you. The economy is kind of out of control, so it's kind of like having your cake and eating it too, to some degree. Like that's sort of my plan at this point. I want to have enough stocks, real estate, crypto that if we keep going to the moon, so to speak, I'm not going to miss the whole ride. But I always, we call it investing called dry powder. It's like you're in the war and you got your gun loaded, ready to take out the enemy, and you got your dry gunpowder, ready to shoot at the target. And that's what you're talking about. You always need to have some dry powder. So yeah, I totally agree. And but the thing I was going to say about real estate is, the thing I love about real estate, and I always talk about real estate. I lose half my followers because they're like, don't talk about real estate, but I still love talking about real estate.
And I love guys who talk about real estate, so.
What's that?
And I love guys who talk about real estate, so because it's always. I love
the thing about real estate is it pays you while you wait. So if you buy a good rental, you make passive income on it when the market is doing this while you're waiting, and that's how you win the game, is by getting your investment to pay you no matter if it's up or down. So, I mean, the other thing, I don't know how big your house is, but the other thing is keep your house because it costs money to sell the house. You got to hire a realtor, everything, and just put a renter in and go on a family road trip or something. I mean, then you don't get to sell at the top, but it's a way to, have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, keep cash flow, have some cash flow, coming in and all of that too. I see what you're saying. But yeah, I think I don't think, and I think maybe we're in the minority of probably crypto TikTokers, but I know a lot of people hate the US dollar right now, but I'm actually not as bearish on the US dollar as most crypto people are. I still see a big opportunity with the US dollar, just in terms of being able to buy cheaper crypto, especially if turns out we are in a bear market. Like I said, sell the top of real estate, for example, buy the bottom of crypto. That's kind of what I'm saying. The people who don't have, like, if you're trying to make it, like if you're trying to get that pure, financial freedom. Like I said, I own a business too, and I know, like I said, I know you live in the traveling RV. That's freaking awesome. You got real estate and all of that, and that's what I'm trying to build up as well. So I have, obviously I'm trying to have my multiple incomes as well, through the business, through cryptocurrency, through sponsorships and all of that. But that's what I'm trying to build up, is a fund to buy more crypto, and then a fund to start real estate. So with that real estate money, I obviously wanted to put it into more real estate. And my hope with the cryptocurrency profits was to sell the top of the market here. If everything would have been hunky dory, we'd see a 300K Bitcoin and all of that, a huge market, sell at the top. And then I would have that money in the bear market to start into real estate, get some passive income flow where I can dollar cost average during the 2 year bear market, and then, continue to build the empire from there. From your experience, how have you best accomplished that, like in terms of getting the cash flow to invest in more crypto?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really helpful at some point in your life just to figure out how to make a lot of money, right? Yeah. Like, you need a few high earning years where you can get the money to seed your investments and stuff, and then learn how to use IRAs, because when you're making, I had several years where I was making over 200K, which isn't super rich. I think that's one of the reasons why, like, people like us on TikTok, because people don't want to hear about guys making $1 million a year. That's not relatable, People want to hear about people who are successful, but also have figured out a strategy to make life work without being like a multi-millionaire. And, tax strategy. So I do a lot of my investing in an IRA, self-directed IRA. And everybody should know about this. If you have a business, you can put up to $50,000 a year tax-free into an IRA and use that to buy real estate, use it to buy stocks, use it to buy crypto, and pay zero taxes on your trades. And I mean, it's the greatest thing ever. That's the whole thing about an IRA, is you don't pay tax until you take it out when you're a lot older. So I think actually answering some of these questions in my comments will also answer your question. And by the way, what's your real name? Like, I know you're Begin Crypto, but I've never been introduced to you. Like,
that's true. My name is Angel.
Angel. Okay, cool. Yes. All right. So let me just hit some of these questions here, because I think this is related, like, to what we're talking about. I do not think that USDC at 9% interest is necessarily a good option for a bear market, because they are leveraging to get that return. If they're paying you 9%, it means that they're getting more than 9% somewhere, which is pretty risky. Mm-hmm. I'm not super bullish on stable coins in a bear market. And then somebody else here is saying, you're forgetting about inflation. Hold properties, physical silver, gold. I totally agree with that. See, that's one thing, Angel, to be careful of, is like, if you sell your house, now what's you also want to have some kind of a hedge against inflation. Like, I own this lot in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. It's a piece of dirt, has water, it has a well, has high-speed internet. I paid $30,000 for it, and people are offering me $50,000 for it like 6 months later, and I'm not selling it because it's my hedge against inflation. Mm-hmm. Let's see. There was one other question that I wanted to get into here. Some people are asking you, what's your business, Angel? You're saying you have a business. What is your business?
Quick Leads Local. I have a digital video and digital marketing agency. So, like I said, sorry, I'm getting a bunch of texts. I have a video and digital marketing agency. I have a little, actually in my little office, my little studio here as well. But I have like a 1,000 square foot studio that I work out of. So yeah, like I said, shoot real estate. We shoot a lot of real estate. So I have some connections with some good realtors as well. Shoot some concerts. There's some Midwest concerts, Country Fest, Rock Fest. We've shot those kind of concerts as well. But a lot of local corporate style videos. But yeah, that's kind of my business. So
neat. All right, this is a good question. Someone is asking, why is the stock market high? So Angel, do you know what PE ratios are?
Explain them to me, please.
Okay. PE ratio is a very important metric for measuring the stock market. It's like, how do you know if the stock market is high or not? Stock market always goes up. PE ratio is the price to earnings ratio. It says that if you're paying this amount for Apple stock, this is what Apple's earnings are, right? Like they better be making some real money, right? Or else why are you buying their stock? PE ratios right now are at an all-time high, which is bad. That's why stocks are overpriced, you guys. It means that people are paying more than they ever have before for the same level of earnings, right? So like if I had a cheeseburger stand and I was selling $10 worth of cheeseburgers a day and my business was valued at $100, my PE ratio would be 10 because I'm charging 10 times my business what I'm getting for cheeseburger. What if all of a sudden somebody came along and they said, I'll pay you $500 for your cheeseburger stand? Wouldn't you think like that's way overpriced, man? The guy's only making $10 a day in profit selling cheeseburgers. Why would you pay him $500? That's what's happening in the stock market right now. I'll show you guys a chart here. And so that over time has shown when the stock market is overvalued. And that's, I'm going to work on getting this up for a second here. All right, here we go. So this is the PE ratio of the stock market over time. Now, remember, this is not the price of the stock market. This is the PE ratio, the price to earnings ratio. This is over decades. You can see this is 1880, 1890. So this is, we could draw like an average line right here and say this is the average. I believe this was the Great Depression here where stocks got way overpriced, right? Every year was a bubble. Now, look at where we are now. So this was the other financial crisis. We're pretty dang high right now at a Shiller PE ratio of 37. I'd like to get that to focus better. So if you look back over the history of the stock market, we are way high. We're almost as high we're not at all-time highs, but that's saying that people are overpaying for stocks right now. But there's a complex interplay though, because if there's more money because of inflation, that it gets complicated. But
yeah, wow.
Someone says PE is not a valuation tool. You better believe it's a valuation tool. It's the only valuation tool that we have, because the only reason stocks are worth money is because they make money, right? They're a business. Walmart, ExxonMobil, whatever, they make money. If you can't measure the stock price compared to how much money they make, then what's your metric? Aliens? Like, what are we talking about here?
I love it, Bryan. Hey, Bryan, I got to take off here. Thank you so much, man, for joining us here on this live. If you guys don't follow Bryan Ross yet, go follow Bryan Ross Wins. Appreciate the conversation. Like I said, anytime I'm live, go ahead and invite me on a live or co-host, and I'll invite you every time.
Yeah, I'd love to do another live with you too, because I love talking about this macroeconomic stuff. So that was great. Have a great day, man.
Love it. Take care. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that was my man, Bryan Ross. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. As always, I got to wrap it up here. I got to go pick up dinner. I'm already late. Thank you guys so much. Angel here, Begin Crypto. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.